Welcome to our build day. We are starting with a little bit of an update. I was talking to Mr. Dennis about this section, this thing called the let-in brace. And so we had quite a debate over it. This is the let-in brace. And you actually have to cut a channel through all these pieces, and that could be very difficult. I think it's useful because that has been something I've seen utilized. These pieces of wood are so small, I don't know how successful it would be getting this piece to get inside a channel that we cut for it here. So I've elected to skip this step for now, and I reserve the right to come back to it if we have the right amount of time. And what I really wanted to try was once we get the rotary tool, that's something that we have coming for our class. Maybe the rotary tool would allow us to like cut out this material very easily and fit this in without putting too much stress on the pieces that we already have. So I'm attaching it with 3 nails. I attached it with 3 nails to give it some increased rigidity. And really, this is the weakest spot here. It's where the wall sections are joined together here and here. So just be mindful of that. If it's going to snap, I think it's going to snap right there. We do have this top plate that's really holding it in. We do have this cap plate that's holding it in up here, but that's really not a lot. Now this piece is really holding it quite a bit more. So instead of doing that piece today, I'm going to leave that to the end, or maybe not at all, and then try to progress this build on schedule so that we for sure finish in the time that we have for this project. So I'm going to move this out, put this in a safe place, and let's talk about what the next steps are. So here on the sheet, I have step 14. Step 14, to complete the joined wall, you need only nail in the let-in brace. In terms, let-in means that you cut into the face of the studs, cripples, fire blocks, and plates 1/16 of an inch. At every point where it crosses them, take a piece of 1x6 lumber, 1/16 by 3/8, and run it over the joined walls, following the brace line for either wall 1A or 1B. So I cut the piece, I held the piece on, and so with your pencil, draw a line across the top of each stud, cripple, or fire block and plate. And so yes, I did draw that line, and I was doing that so that there is a defined channel of where I would cut into it in the future if we do have the time to do that. So let's look over here. Let's see if there's any more information about it. Uh, 16, cut out the area between the okay, so this is probably the most complex part about building this wall section 1A and 1B, which ends up being just wall 1. And you can see them cutting a little channel into it, and that's what this whole picture is. This is the let-in brace. So the photograph on the sheet will help you see what has to be done. And so it, I guess it kind of helps, but this is a terrible photograph. So dark. Lay in the brace across the cutout wall members and cut it off where you marked it at both ends. It should fit flush with the top of the cutout wall members and flush on both ends. Now nail the brace in by toe nailing, drive them in at an angle. Okay, so that's if we were to do it, but we're skipping that. 18, walls 1A and 1B are now one solid wall stored in a safe place. Okay, so here's an interesting note. At this point in a real house, the brace would only be tacked in until the wall was raised. Once raised, the wall would be racked, in parentheses, moved back and forth until it was perfectly square. Then the brace would be nailed securely, thus making it a solid and straight wall. For the purpose of this kit, it's better to put the brace in when they are flat and laying on the pattern. Okay, so for those of you who want to go and have an advanced approach in here, you're able to do that, but please work on the walls while they're flat. I think that is the best way to get this going. If your wall is loose, then I would suggest nailing it to the foam backing here, and then that would give you some resistance as you're working on it, trying to cut that out. Now it's, again, I'm not attempting that right now. I really reflected on what Mr. Dennis and I talked about, and I think I'd rather be on schedule for finishing the whole project than get caught up in this for a day or two. Moving on. If we get to the end, step 18, and there's no more steps on sheet 2, which is this sheet, then we're ready to go to the next sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the 6 nails. I have a nail on the bottom here, here, and here, and then I also have those nails on the other side. So I'm going to pull out my 6 nails, and I'm going to get my sheet 3. And then we're going to start talking about sheet 3. So here we go. Popping out my nails, put them to the side. I think it's really easy to grab them with the needle nose pliers. Just a little refresher. If you don't know what tools we're using, we are using our safety glasses. So my safety glasses are on. I like this razor blade. This is good. A cutting surface. Sandpaper. 8-foot wall studs. Your easy miter box with your small miter saw. Your glue, if you need it, for those small pieces, your needle nose pliers, a pencil, and your tape measure. Of course, nails, but I mean, I don't feel like I have to mention the nails. Okay, so let's continue taking off this piece. Oh, I have one more. There we go. Oh, I had one up here too. We don't want to tear it, so this is ready. I'm going to just put this behind the other ones. I feel like we're done with this for now. Maybe forever. Okay. So now I'm grabbing sheet 3. All right. So where I'm going to start reading is right here. Okay. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this and then talk about what this is. And then that's going to get us started. So these are the new instructions. Framing a wall by laying out. Note, you should only try building by laying out, in parentheses, after you're familiar with building the walls on the pattern. Let me zoom in a little bit on this. So this is the, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about this diagram, but I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see the text a little bit better. And focus. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go in a little bit more. There. Okay, so This is an advanced method for you just to actually lay it out like this on top. They're saying they're not recommending it unless you're familiar with this process. So like once you get more comfortable. So if you're not comfortable, don't try this out. I'm just bringing it up because they're saying like, they're giving you some new strategy to look at and play with, and you're able to do that if you want. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm just going to build on the sheet like we've been doing because I don't feel like we're pros at it yet, and I want to make sure that we get everything just right. Without making the walls the right height uniformly, we're not going to get the roof to sit on this very well. It'll be crooked. Okay, so the term laying out simply means marking the positions of each piece of lumber that goes into the wall on the sole and the top plates. It provides an accurate picture of the number of pieces required for the wall frame and their location. In this case, you will lay out for wall 2 exactly as the diagram on the sheet is laid out. After you have built wall 2, build wall 3 using the same layout because it is an identical wall. Proceed as follows. 1, take 2 9.5 lengths of 2x4 lumber. For the sole and top plates, cut them to the required 8 1/8 length as shown on the layout diagram. 8 1/8. Oh, so they're saying, regardless of the method that you want to use to go to the next step, this is a diagram of those two cuts. So it's going to be this cut here and this cut up here. I'll move it over so we get a better view. Let's see right there. Again, I noticed I wasn't in frame. Step 1 is we're taking 2 9.5 inch lengths of 2x4s for the sole and top plates. So here's the sole plate, right? The sole plate is here. Let me touch it with the pencil. Sole plate is here, and the top plate is here. It's this one. Okay. All right, let's do it. So 2x4s, 9.5. Let's go to my lumber pile, see what I have here. This is my 9.5 inch bundle, and we're just going to need 2 of those. So just pop 2 out, and then we'll go on to the next step. I think I already have 1 out, so I'm just going to take another one. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we need first to make our first move. And this is a little different than before. They want us to do these together. I don't see an issue with that. So they're basically saying follow this part of the diagram and then put them side by side, and then you can cut them to the right, to the length here. And this is saying it's 8 1/8. This is also 8 1/8. So you can measure it with the tape measure if you want to cut it up here, or you can put it on the diagram and then make your little line on it. So I have this line here, and if I wanted to cut them both the same length, then I would put them both right there. I'm making sure that the ends are flush with my finger. I'm going up here, extending my line. I'm going to get my razor blade, bring it straight down here. rocking it back and forth gently. There we go. So I have these two little extra pieces. Let's get rid of those for now. And I think that we have it. Yeah, okay. I've noticed that I didn't prep my space very well. I didn't put my nails back in. So I'm gonna take a brief pause and I'm gonna put in 3 nails down this side, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 in the center, and then I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 over here on this side as well. So let me give you a better view. 1, 2, and 3 right there. Okay, so let's get our nails in, and then we'll get building our we're going to build two of these sections. So once we build one, then we're going to build another one identical to it. So, yep, we're going to get really good at this one. Putting the nails in now. I'd like to put them in at a diagonal angle. So when they're going in, let's see. So when they're going in, I'm going in at this angle here. I like to put them in like that so the paper just doesn't come straight up. If you put them in straight down like this, perpendicular, then sometimes the nails just come right off. So I like to do it at a little bit of an angle. That's like been helping so far. Yeah, I got too excited and I wanted to start building right away without securing my plans. But it's not gonna, that's not gonna work out very well if your paper keeps shifting on you. Okay. I ran out of nails, so I just got a little pinch of nails. Remember, don't grab them too hard, or they will, they will stick to you. If you do get any type of little cut while you're working, that's when you're going to want to pause. Go get your safety kit. I'm just going to go ahead and grab it just to make sure we're all on the same page here. You're going to want to get your safety kit, and then you are going to want to clean, rinse your wound, and then dress it with a Band-Aid or bandage. I really like that little first aid kit. It's I think it's really great. I'm always getting little nicks and cuts as I'm working, and sometimes you can avoid them, and sometimes you're in an environment where maybe the lumber's really rough, maybe you forgot your gloves that day, and it's really hard on your hands. I notice that most of the stuff that happens is on my hands. Okay, I'm going to get into a better position. All right, so here we go. And now I'm ready to work here. And so of course we start with our top and our bottom. That's always where we start. I like how close this is. It's a little bit long. I'm going to give it just a little sanding on the edge. A little bit more. I'll try to do that in frame. Okay, nice. All right, I'm going to get this one in first. Now I'm going to put the nail straight down. And boom, right there. Follow it up. One in the middle. Follow it up. Got it. All right. Next. This one ends up also being a little long. I did cut them at the same time. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm close. Oh, sorry, I'm doing it out of frame again. Sand that down just a little bit. Perfect. The balsa is very soft, so you don't need to press very hard on it when you're sanding. I'd like to get 3 nails in here. Seems to really help stabilize it as then I make my box. All right, it's looking good. Okay, so let's just talk about our roadmap for how we work our way through a section of wall. These are the first 2 pieces. It doesn't matter which one you put in first. I like to put in 3 nails for something that's this long. I did it 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Something on either end and something close to the middle, but I'm definitely watching out for where these are. I'm not putting the nails which I put here and here, I'm avoiding these studs. So that's why the nails are here and here. Now I'm going to complete the perimeter, and then I'm going to start filling in. Okay. I'm taking a look at the chat. Do we have any questions right now? Nope. Okay, great. Then we'll just keep going. This is where you get your bundle of 8-footers. And so your 8-footers, I think they're 5 5/8. Yes, these are 5 5/8 long. If you're looking at this bundle, and we're going to count them off here. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to need 8 of them. So we're really using a lot of these. Now the plastic has totally come off because we've used so many. So let's get 8 out. 2, 4, 6, 7, and one more is 8. Okay. This is probably the part that goes the fastest because I have the, you're just trying to get this in here, in here, in here, in here, in here, in here. Some of these are dropping right in. Oh man, this is great. Some of these are just dropping right in. Awesome. Oh, I'm saving so much time. Here, before you nail these, remember, keep a little spacer in between the gap. And I'm just throwing a couple in there just to make it easier later. And we'll replace those with the 1-inch versions of this. These little pieces that are the channel blocks here. Okay, so, oh, I have 2 more. I have this one here. This is gonna get super tight, and this one here. So before we get on all the inside stuff, I'm gonna focus on the outside so we don't lose perspective about what's happening here. This is the most important part, is going around the outside. I think we get some rigidity when we do it. Nice. Just a little bit of sanding. A little bit more. Nice. Okay. Let's go ahead and get these in before we start the infill. Again, we're on step 3. We're on step 3. Beginning at the right, lay out the entire length of the plates. Oh, they're talking about framing by laying out. Yeah. I think that's still advanced. I'm just progressing, building this wall based on our pattern that we have on the bottom. I'm not thinking we're ready for the more advanced kind of build it for framing, building it by laying out. So I'm just sticking to the plans here. And I think the plans will really help us stay the right size and the right spacing. I think it's overall easier, and I don't think we're in that advanced level just yet, or intermediate level just yet. So I'm holding down with my finger, pushing up. This one's pretty hard. Nice. Follow through. And let's go in from the top, holding with 3 fingers, pushing down. There we go. Nice. All right. This is looking great. Okay. So here's what's coming next. Once you get the perimeter is the outside. And you'll get these on the inside. Okay. So that's where we're going next. After that, then I would probably target this header here. And don't forget your little spacers, your sideways spacers in here and in here. Let me try to set that up a little bit better. I think those 2 just dropped in really nicely. No, I must have switched them around with another one. Let's see. That one's a good one. The tip of the pencil is pretty good for just nudging these around. Okay, so I still need to cut these, sand these 3, 1, 2, 3. And then once I sand those 3, of course, I'll put 1 nail, 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 1 nail. And then I'm going to head to the 4x4 header. All right. So I can already see that this is going pretty quickly because it's such a small section of wall. And I think it's just getting a little easier because we've done it already. So I'm going to go ahead and pause there before we go on.